Oh no. Am I telling you you have to be on another social media tool and put content on there? I know. Who wants another tool? But let's talk about this one and see whether or not it's a good playground for you. Maybe it's not. So let's talk about it. Here we go.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
Hello. So happy to have you. Episode 154. And I wanted to just do a quick discussion and share some thoughts about the new social media tool called Threads and kind of talk about whether or not you should be on it. But before we jump into that, I also wanted to mention, oh my goodness, we just finished up the 24-hour Course Creator Intensive. Congrats to all the folks who got to join us. It was a really good 4 days of focused work, co-working sessions, and coaching. So make sure the next time that rolls around that you're able to jump in with us and move yourself forward. It's incredible how much folks were able to accomplish. And now we're shifting gears over towards the sales side of things. So moving over towards how am I going to find my students? What's that foundation that I need to put my course into place and get in front of my students? So I'm kicking off the membership. It's called Course Sales Launchpad, and we're shifting it just slightly in that it's going to become a membership where you just stick around until you get your foundation in place. So no matter how much time you have, how much you can work on a little bit or a lot, you just stick around as long as you want to, and you have access as long as you're a member. So if you want to find out more, I'm going to put that link in the show notes to the Launchpad. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Actually, today I want to talk a little bit about Threads and this new social media app that has taken off like a rocket, and let's talk about whether you should be on it. So first of all, what is Threads? So you can sort of compare it to Twitter without all the negativeness. It's slightly more fun, easy, and I would say entertaining posts at the moment. We'll see how it turns out long term, but I'm impressed with what they've got so far. It was released on July the 5th of 2023 and very, very quickly built this huge audience. I think primarily because it was tied into Meta and Instagram. It was pretty easy to get people over there. They didn't have to build the audience. So I checked this morning, and there's an audience of 114 million people who have created Threads accounts and are using it as a place to connect with folks. And I'm a little excited because I just happened to be online the moment they released it. So I'm user number 301,413. So very early user. And I was excited to get to jump in quickly. And so there is one big issue. All of you who are in the EU, you can't get in at the moment because there's some issues with Meta and privacy, and I'm hoping they get that fixed so that you all can jump in too. Okay, so the way people post on here, it's primarily text-based, but you can totally share images and videos and GIFs, however you say it, and carousels. You can have text up to 500 characters long and videos up to 5 minutes long. So that kind of gives you a feeling for what the content is that's out there. The other thing that they did really well is it's both an iPhone and an Android app. So they're not leaving out all the folks who don't have iPhones, which some of the apps have done in the past. So not doing that, which is great. It's tied to Instagram. So if you don't have an Instagram account yet, you will need to set up an Instagram account there, and then you can set up your Threads account too. So a couple of the pros, a couple of the things that I love about it. First off, it's text-based. So it's super fast to create posts and put things out. It's not like you have to do hair and makeup and fancy reels with transitions and videos and blah, 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 blah. Just go out, post type. Number 2, people are jumping in right now and are interested in building their followers. So there is, and I've seen this with all the social media accounts, and it started to where at the beginning there's this huge interest and it builds pretty quickly at the beginning, and then at some point it drops off, kind of plateaus, and it seems to be happening more and more quickly with some of these apps. I've noticed it's a little bit drop off this week, so we'll see. I have no idea where this is going to go long term, but so far I am enjoying it, and that's kind of the point of social media anyway, right? We're supposed to enjoy it. They also have that built-in base of users from Instagram, so that's also helping keep people interested and jumping in. The 4th thing they do is they suggest accounts for you in your feed when you're looking through. So you'll get the people you're following, but then you'll also get some that they're suggesting. And I know it's been interesting because I've seen people complaining about that. And I'm like, no, I kind of like that. Like, point me towards people that have good content that I'm going to like. So at some point they'll probably add a feed that's just the people you're following, and you won't get that option, or you have to go somewhere else to get that option. But right now they are suggesting accounts for you. And then the last thing, the user interface is just so well thought out. And they mentioned how they spent a lot of time thinking about the font and the placement, and it just, the experience is very, very nice on there. It's, the font's big enough, the buttons are all in the right place, that kind of thing. So I appreciate that they did that for us. Now, a couple of the cons, and these are as of July 18th of 2023. So depending on when you're listening to this, it could be changed, it could be fixed, and it may not even be an issue anymore. But these are some of the things that I noticed. The first one is, where's this going to go long term? Who knows? Like, all social media accounts, I think right now are struggling a little bit and a little bit perilous as far as how much people want to spend time on them. So could this all fizzle out? Maybe. I don't know. But I do know at the beginning there is that high growth moment. So is it worth your time? If you think you could like posting on here, I do think it could be worth your time to set up an account and get started. Number 2, some folks are struggling with what content to post on here, and should it be the same or different than what is on Instagram. So that's also something to think about. Like, what am I going to share? What am I going to post? It tends to be more positive, so keep that angle in mind as you're posting. And what are some of the things that you can use to inspire and engage your students, your prospective students? The third thing is there's no web interface right now. It's only on your mobile device. I think they'll probably fix that at some point. And there's no way to search the content at the moment. You could search people, but you can't really search for specific topics. So I don't know if any of those are a big deal and might affect whether or not you want to play in this playground. It could. Here are a couple of my suggestions to do better on Threads. And granted, nobody is an expert just yet. It's only been out 13 days. So not claiming to be an expert by any means. This is just some of the things that I have noticed over the past couple weeks and a couple of things that I'm seeing working, and that you can also use as you're trying to figure out should I post and what should I post. So the first one is definitely get a keyboard that you can use with your mobile device, your phone, or I do believe you can use it on an iPad. And I'll put a link in the show notes to the Logitech one that I use. It's incredible, and it makes it so much easier for me to post slightly longer things, to leave longer comments. I could not survive without my fancy keyboard. And the one that I have actually lets you switch between your phone and your computer. So I use it and I just switch back and forth. So it's got a little dial on the top left that you switch, and you've got one setting for your computer, one setting for your phone. So that's also super helpful. So get that keyboard. The second secret to success is to leave really thoughtful comments. Don't just put, oh, this is great, or leave an emoji. When you want to build your audience on here and connect specifically with either the poster, the initial poster, or their followers and their comments, when you can have a more thoughtful comment where you say something about what they posted and then maybe even ask a question, a follow-on question to keep the conversation going. The original poster will love that because you're keeping their thread going, gives them another place to comment and connect, and it just makes it more interesting. Like, I'm just posting things that I'm curious. Like when somebody posts one of the things they're doing and I'm like, hey, okay, what do you mean by that? Or can you explain this a little bit more? Can you tell me what you were thinking? So it's just been an interesting way to connect and actually a lot more fun, less of the work around trying to figure out what's going to be good content, which hashtags are going to work. Is this going to go viral or connect with my community? And without worrying about all of that, it's just literally having social conversations. So that's the part I'm enjoying right now. Number 3 is to find the people or the accounts that are in your industry, follow them, comment on them, and then also connect with their commenters. So the people who are connecting with them are probably also interested in what you are doing. So you can connect with them, comment on comments, that sort of thing. It can be a really good way to stay in the loop and kind of build this web of folks who are interested in what you are doing. Then the next thing, number 4, repurpose and reuse. Repurpose and reuse. So I know some folks have been wondering, like, what should I do about, should I post the same thing on Instagram and then take it directly over to Threads? I actually don't think so right now. You don't want to frustrate your followers by seeing exactly the same thing in both places. However, what you can do, scroll down on your Instagram account, find something you posted 3 months ago or 6 months ago, reuse that, repurpose it. It's probably still relevant, still something interesting to your audience. So just repurpose that content and reuse it, and you'll still be speaking to your audience in a way that they can relate to. Number 5 is I do want you to balance out the content that you're putting on here with the longer term content that you're creating. So right now I'm kind of looking at this more as shorter term content. You post something, it's out here for a couple days, and unless somebody really digs into your account, it's a lot like Instagram in that the posts just sort of disappear into the internet. But you want to be creating long-term content that sticks around. So long-term content includes things like blogs, podcasts, YouTube videos, even Pinterest is more long-term content. And I did a whole episode on this short-term versus long-term content. So I will link to that one in the show notes for you so that if you want to go listen after this episode, you can kind of plan out, you need to be creating both and you have to balance it out so that it works for you. So I talked about how to do that in that episode. Number 6 is to make sure that you have a live link on your profile. But then the other really, really cool thing is Threads lets you share links inside your posts. So it's different from Instagram in that you can share links. And I'm so, so glad they did this. I don't overuse it. Folks are there to be on Threads. Don't overuse the fact that you're sending them somewhere else for content. But once in a while, when you are sharing your freebie or you're sharing out your latest content, it does not hurt to give that live link and send people there. I think they will enjoy the fact that you've got that option for them. So balance it out. Use live links not only in your profile so that they can find you, but use them strategically inside your posts. And then number 7, the last thing I will share for you is to repost with comments. So sometimes it can be really helpful if you come across something perfect for your audience repost that post and then add your own take on the top. So you can repost, I think it's called a quote. You quote it. So you take their post and then you comment at the top. And that way you're not only sharing good content with your audience, you're connecting with having the original poster on your account. It's just an all the way around win, I think, when you can reshare things from someone else's account. Now, I'm not saying copy somebody else's stuff. I'm saying reshare their post. So just to make that clear. All right. So hope this gave you an idea or two and maybe a thought around whether or not you should be using Threads. I'm going to put the link to my Threads account in the show notes. So please be sure that you connect on Threads and we're able to chat and talk and comment and just have some fun conversation. And let me know how it's going for you, what you think, and whether you can think that Threads is a good place for you. I'm really curious what everyone else is thinking as far as do you like it, do you not like it, that kind of thing. So come let me know. Come comment on Threads. I'm curious. What do you think? So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I so appreciate you being a follower and a subscriber. And so glad we got to connect this week and talk about Threads and just where you're headed. Would love to have you come join us for Launchpad. And if you can, and have an incredible, fantastic, amazing week. I want to keep you moving forward. We need you. We need your content. We need your brilliance and your wisdom. So thank you for being there and jumping in on the course creation roller coaster. So glad to have you. Take care and have a wonderful, amazing week.